This is how I used a 3D scanner from 3D Evoc to produce a functional brake cooling setup on my Viper Datsun. So we're going to start by prepping the surface I want to scan with 3D markers, and then we're going to spray some dry shampoo. This gives it a bit of a matte texture, which really helps the 3D scanner pick up all the fine details. The 3D Evoc MT comes with 3 scanning modes. You have blue laser, infrared laser, and IR structured light. And here we're using the blue laser, which is really good for high precision industrial parts. Now while you're scanning, this is what you see on the computer. This is 3D Evoc Studio, the software that comes with the scanner. The colors you see here represent a scale from green to yellow to orange to red. Green meaning a lot of detail has been scanned, and red meaning a lot of detail is missing. Now to get rid of all the red or unwanted areas of the finished scan, we're going to use a feature in the software called one-click edit. This feature gets rid of all of the unwanted areas of the scan with literally one click. Since the only thing I needed scanned was the unused front caliper bracket, I'm using the lasso tool to delete all this extra stuff, that way the file is as small as possible. Lastly, we're going to fill these holes left over by the 3D markers. Now we're left with the finished scan, which we're going to export to STL and import into Fusion 360. Now this is the part I modeled sitting on top of the 3D scan, and these are the very simple steps it took to make this part, and then I just mirrored it for the other side of the car. The working prototype was then printed in PETG carbon fiber, which is fairly heat resistant and hasn't melted yet, but I will send this file off for a CNC'd aluminum part. I added some rubber washers for vibration dampening and then installed the part on the unused front caliper bracket. Now we need to repeat this entire process for the other side for where the air flows in from. So I scanned the backside of the fender, deleted all the parts of the scan that I don't need, imported the scan into Fusion 360, and modeled the air duct. And since this part won't undergo the same amount of heat, this is the final part printed in PETG carbon fiber. Now we can get this thing installed. It goes behind the headlight bucket underneath the fender. And instead of having the OEM style Datsun headlight, I designed a headlight insert that allows air to flow through this area. I covered this entire thing in another video if you want to check it out. This is the hose I'm using to connect the two parts. It is rated for 500 degrees Fahrenheit and has a spring inside, so it's fairly flexible, but I did have to use zip ties on those two ends to keep those right angles, that way it doesn't rub on things. So this is everything fully functional and installed. You can actually see right through the headlight insert, just where the air flows. Overall, I think this thing turned out pretty sick. If you have any questions or comments, let me know.